for which the intrinsic resistance reports are important. Another situation for which you have, another reason for which you have to give intrinsic resistance message to the clinician is the clinician will not be aware that one antibiotic, one organism is resistant to so many antibiotics. Therefore, again, a point to be noted, you have to give as a footnote, you have to give in your clinical report that Escherichia coli or Enterobacter or Klebsiella is intrinsically resistant to A, B, C. The entire list of antibiotics you have to give to them either in a script format or in a small table format, so that the clinician will know that these antibiotics need to be avoided. So to present this short and quick session, I would like to request again my ex-student Dr. Harita. She was a fellow in infection control in Jipper earlier. Now she is a consultant in Yashoda Hospital, Hyderabad. Over to you, Harita.
Thank you, sir. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, you are not visible.
Okay, I want my video, sir, already.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. You are visible.
Yeah. So I'm sharing my screen now. So I'm audible to everybody?
Yeah, Harita, yeah, it's very clear.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, so coming to the topic, sir has already given my introduction. I'm Dr. Harita. So today we'll be discussing about intrinsic resistance. So can anybody tell me what is meant by intrinsic resistance? It will be an interactive session, so anybody can unmute yourself and you can answer me. What is meant by intrinsic resistance?
Organism is inherently resistant to antibiotics.
Yeah, few organisms are inherently resistant to few antibiotics. That is what is meant by intrinsic resistance. So it is the innate ability of bacteria to resist the action of an antimicrobial agent. So all of you know this. Now coming to the next questions, the technical team, can you just poll the questions?
Showing poll 21. Polling start, you have 1 minute.
No, this is not the poll.
Please tell me the poll number.
Yeah, 1 second.
Harita, just move to the next slide and just show the poll number.
Yeah,
no?
ma'am. I'm not able to share.
$22.1. Please share the questions from
22.1, yeah.
Okay. Poll 22. We have 30 seconds for polling. Time starts now.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Ten seconds left. Time is up. Polling is closed now.
Okay, so what do you think the answer for this would be? Serratia marcescens is
I'm sharing the
intrinsically
results.
resistant to?
Ampicillobacter.
Shared results.
Perfect. Go ahead, Harita.
Yeah, so Serratia marcescens is intrinsically resistant to which antibiotic in these?
Ampicillobacter.
Any more answers? Yeah, it would be tigecycline. Okay, so this is the list for the enterobacterials and the intrinsic resistance here. So this is a very big table. So here it shows the list of the enterobacterials and the in one row, and the other row shows the list of the antibiotics for which it is resistant. So this table I have combined showing the resistance given in both CLSI and UCAS Okay, so yellow, all of you can see. So this yellow color represents that it is given intrinsically resistance in CLSI. And this is the gray color which I have shown. So this shows that it is intrinsically resistant given in the UCAST. And the pink color which is being shown here is like which is being given in both CLSI and UCAST. Okay, so this table combines the intrinsic resistance given in both CLSI and UCAST. So I know it is very difficult to remember so many drug bug combinations for which there is intrinsic resistance. So very few important things, if you remember, that is enough. Okay. So the first important thing is intrinsic resistance to colistin. Okay. So as all of you know, whenever we get the MDR strain, the consultants immediately they start giving colistin to the patient without knowing the sensitivity of the colistin. So it is very important to know the intrinsic resistance in colistin, which organisms are intrinsically resistant to colistin. So can any of you tell me at least a few organisms which are intrinsically resistant to colistin? Examples?
Yes.
Very good. Proteus then?
Burkholderia.
Very good. Burkholderia then?
Even
Any other list?
Providencia.
Yeah, so the Proteate tribe, that is the Providencia, Proteus and Morganella, the whole tribe is intrinsically resistant. Then other than that, the previous question which was shown,
Yes.
it is, yeah, Serratia. So on the screen, you can see here, Hafnia albae. Hafnia albae is intrinsically resistant to colistin. And the second one is Serratia marcescens. Okay, so the list which you need to remember is colistin is intrinsically resistant to Hafnia, Serratia, Proteate tribe, then Burkholderia and Elizabeth Kingia meningoseptica. Okay, so these are the most common organisms which are isolated and they are intrinsically resistant to colistin. Okay, and the second important thing which you need to note down here is Serratia marcescens. Here under tetracyclines, I have written as intrinsically resistant, which is given in UCAST. But in the bracket, I have written as T and D. So what is meant by this? So here it means that Serratia marcescens is intrinsically resistant only to tetracycline and doxycycline, but not to tigecycline and minocycline. Okay, tigecycline is given here, but I have not written as intrinsically resistant because Serratia marcescens is intrinsically resistant only to tetracycline and doxycycline, but not to TG and mino. Okay, all of you understood? It is very clear to everybody. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you're
Okay,
audible.
so- yeah, so is this clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay, so now coming to the Enterobacter cloacae complex. So this cloacae complex includes Enterobacter asburiae, Enterobacter cloacae, and Enterobacter hormaceae. Okay, and one more thing which you need to remember is for E. coli, that is there is no intrinsic resistance to beta lactams in these organisms. That is only in E. coli. But in Escherichia hermani, it is intrinsically resistant to ampicillin, amoxicillin, and ticarcillin. Okay, so this is one table showing for the Enterobacterials. Coming to the next slide. So like all of us know, here we have given few examples for the gram-positive drugs like clindamycin, vancomycin, teicoplanin, and macrolides and benzyl penicillin. So these are mainly the gram-positive organisms. Okay, so as of all of us know, these gram-positive organisms, antibiotics are intrinsically resistant to these Enterobacterials. Okay, the Enterobacterials and the non-Enterobacterials or the non-fermenters are also intrinsically resistant to the gram-positive antibiotics. So this is one more thing which you need to remember. Now coming to the next question, the next poll, can you on the 23.1?
Yes, I'm starting the next one.
Yeah.
Poll 23 started. We have 1.5 minutes to polling. Time starts now. Time's up. Polling is closed now.
Okay.
Can I share the result?
Yeah.
I shared the result.
Okay, so the first one, the Proteate tribe, almost 44% have given the right answer. The next two questions we'll be discussing now. So the Proteate tribe are intrinsically resistant to all of the following except. So as we have already discussed, Proteate tribe is intrinsically resistant to colistin, and nitrofurantoin also it is resistant, ampicillobactam also, and tigecycline. So here, which it is not intrinsically resistant to is the ciprofloxacin. Yeah, so the answer would be ciprofloxacin here. Okay, so why is it ciprofloxacin? Because many times whenever we'll be giving the report, the drug of choice for the Proteus would be like ciprofloxacin or levofloxacin, because it is not intrinsically resistant and it is a very good drug for the Proteus species. Okay, so that is why ciprofloxacin is not intrinsically resistant. And coming to the second question, Providentia stewarti is intrinsically resistant to all of the following except. So here you can see all the four options are from the aminoglycosides only. So it is resistant to 3 of it, but not 1. So which one is that? So which one is that? It is amikacin. Okay, so this is one more thing which you need to remember. Providentia stewarti is intrinsically resistant to gentamicin, nettlemycin, and tobramycin, but not to amikacin. So this is the second table of the enterobacterials, which is showing the intrinsically resistance. In this table, I'll be showing Klebsiella and the Proteate tribe. So in this also, which you need to remember mostly, as all of you know, Proteate tribe is intrinsically resistant to colistin or polymyxin B. Okay, this is one thing which you need to remember. The second one is the Providentia stewarti is intrinsically resistant to gentamicin, nettlemycin, and tobramycin, but not to amikacin. Okay, only the Providentia stewarti. And one more important thing here is the imipenem. All of you can see imipenem. I have given some a symbol here for imipenem for the Proteate tribe. So what is this? Here it means that the Proteate tribes may have elevated MICs to imipenem by mechanisms other than the production of the carbapenems. Okay, so it may show the mechanism of resistance other than the production of the carbapenemases, and isolates which are tested as susceptible can be reported as susceptible only. Okay, so this is just a footnote which is given in the CLSI for the Proteate tribe. So this is one more thing which I want to inform you. So after this, the Providentia stewarti point we've already discussed. Then coming to the next poll, 23.3. Can you just show this question, 23.3?
Harita, you can skip the poll now. You can explain the answers.
Okay, sir, fine. Okay, so the Salmonella are intrinsically resistant to all of the following except. So what would be the answer here? Can anybody answer me?
Cotrimoxazole.
Okay, then anybody else want to answer any other
None
option?
of the above.
Cotrimoxazole.
Okay, why do you think it is none of the above? Why not cotrimoxazole or any other option? Who has answered none of the above? Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, there's no, it is said that in vivo, some of them might not work, but it is not intrinsically resistant.
Yeah, very good. Because CLSI has given the breakpoints for all these, for this drug bug combination. Okay, so the option first would be none of the above. Next, coming to this, CLSI has given the breakpoints for aminoglycosides for the Salmonella. Okay, like amikacin, streptomycin, gentamicin, you can see the breakpoints are available. But there's a warning comment given here showing that for Salmonella and Shigella species, aminoglycosides may appear active in vitro but are not effective clinically and should not be reported as susceptible. Okay, so that is the reason in the previous question we have seen the first and second generation cephalosporins, aminoglycosides. Okay, these three should not be reported as susceptible, even though in vitro they are given as susceptible. They show susceptibility because clinically they may not work. Okay, but cotrimoxazole can be reported. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Answer, the answer should be cotrimoxazole or no?
no, sir, because cotrimoxazole is normally reported, no?
But the question is, okay, it is not in, okay, fine, understood.
Yeah, sir.
So what is the situation here is, Nothing here is intrinsically resistant. Correct. So
Yes, sir.
here the question except should not be there.
Yes, sir. The salmon are intrinsically resistant to all of the following except, yeah.
Except should not be there. So that is
Uh-huh.
the error in the question. See, A, B, and D are clinically ineffective and therefore should not be reported, but there is no intrinsically resistant. And C, that is cotrimoxazole, is clinically indicated. Okay, so nothing here is intrinsically resistant.
Resistant.
Okay, so
Yes.
okay, Harita, go ahead.
Yes. So there are breakpoints available. That is the reason we are telling it is not intrinsically resistant, but it should not be reported. Okay. So this is one more thing. And another example for which colistin is intrinsically resistant is Yersinia pseudo TB, but we don't generally isolate this organism. So that is okay. So coming to Aeromonas. So Aeromonas intrinsic resistance is given only in EUCAST. It is not given in CLSI. Okay, so these are the 5 species and these are the drugs for which it is intrinsically resistant, which is given only in EUCAST. Coming to the next question, Stenotrophomonas maltophilia is intrinsically resistant to all of the following except. So this I think Apurv sir has already explained initially. So I think all of you would give the correct answer for this.
And second left. Open. Time's up. Polling is closed now.
Okay, so what would be the answer for this?
Cotrimoxazole.
Very good, cotrimoxazole. Okay, so sir has already explained this. So Stenotrophomonas maltophilia is intrinsically resistant to all the BLBLIs and also the carbapenems. So the answer would be cotrimoxazole here. Okay, so this is the table showing for the non-enterobacterials. And the examples for non-enterobacterials will be Acinetobacter baumannii, Burkholderia cepacia, Pseudomonas, Stenotrophomonas, and Elizabeth Kingia meningoseptica. Okay, so this is the table again showing combined from both CLSI and EUCAST. So these are the drug bug combinations for which there is intrinsic resistance seen. And here also, as I've already told you, intrinsic resistance for colistin and polymyxin B is seen in Burkholderia cepacia complex and Elizabeth Kingia meningoseptica. Okay. So this is for the non-enterobacterials. And as I already explained you before, for all the enterobacterials and non-enterobacterials or the non-fermenters, the gram-positive antibiotics, they are intrinsically resistant to, like the vancomycin, linezolid, quinpristin, dalfopristin, etc. Okay, so this is the slide which explains that. So this is the end of the gram negatives, that is the enterobacterials and non-enterobacterials. Next, coming to the gram positives. So this is the next question for you. The following is intrinsically
Polling is
resistant to
started.
Ficalis, but not to Ficia.
30 seconds for polling. Polling is closed now. Time's up.
Yeah, so the answer here would be very good. All of you have answered correctly. The answer here would be quinpristin, dalfopristin. Okay, and one more example for which quinpristin, dalfopristin is intrinsically resistant to is which one? Yeah, and vancomycin resistance is seen in which organism? Vancomycin resistance is seen in Enterococcus gallinarum and Cassili. Okay, so in this table, which you need to remember is Enterococcus faecalis is intrinsically resistant to quinpristin, dalfopristin, and also Enterococcus gallinarum and Cassili flavus. And Enterococcus gallinarum Cassili flavus is also intrinsically resistant to vancomycin. This is very important. Okay. And one more important warning comment which you need to remember for Enterococcus species, cephalosporins, aminoglycosides, except for the high-level resistance testing, clindamycin and cotrimoxazole may appear active in vitro but are not effective clinically and should not be reported as susceptible. Okay, now next coming to the Staphylococcus, these are the examples, the different species of Staphylococcus, and these are the antibiotics which it is resistant to, that is mostly fusidic acid, ceftazidime, novobiocin, and fosfomycin it is given. Okay, ceftazidime is given only in UCAS. And coming to this, these gram-positive bacteria like Enterococcus and these Staphylococcus are also intrinsically resistant to aztreonam, polymyxin B, camosilin, and nalidixic acid. Okay, these gram-positives are intrinsically resistant to colistin. This is one more thing which you need to remember. So do you think it is important to incorporate this intrinsic resistant comments in the clinical microbiology report which will be generated?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. But what is the reason why it should be given in the comment? Why it should be given as the comments? What do you think the reason is?
Because many a times clinicians give empirical therapy, the very broad spectrum antibiotics.
Yeah, true. And
Are
many a
aware
times
of.
whenever this Burkholderia or Stenotrophomonas is isolated, they immediately ask us, calling that what is the susceptibility, or if BLBLIs and this carbapenems are resistant, so can we go for colistin? That is the reason, and the list is also very exhaustive. So for that reason, we have to incorporate the intrinsic resistant comments in the microbiology report. So after the report is done, down you can just add a comment telling that this organism is intrinsically resistant to these drugs. So it will be very important for the clinicians while giving the treatment to the patients. Okay. So there's a paper published by Apu sir and madam, that is the use of comments in clinical microbiology reporting. And this is the table which is given in the paper showing the list of the organisms and the combination of the drugs which it is intrinsically resistant to. So you can incorporate the comment showing like Klebsiella pneumoniae is intrinsically resistant to these all drugs. If you incorporate this in your microbiology report, it will be very useful for the clinicians who are treating the patient. Okay, so any doubts anybody is having? This is the end of my session of intrinsic resistance.